Welcome back to the Tears of a Bookie YouTube channel. My name is Mo. Today is Thursday, October 24th. We've got 4 games in the NBA today, and I've got 2 bets. So let's just get right into it. But before getting right into those 2 bets, first let's do the recap that we do every day. Recap the bets yesterday. Yesterday we had 3 bets. We went 1 and 2, should have been 2 and 1, should have been 2 and 1. I'll tell you why right in a second here. First, let's just go over them one by one. The Raptors plus 9.5. That was a terrible read, man. Terrible read. What a horrendous first game. I personally have no hope for the Raptors just based on this game. Scotty Barnes was absolutely awful. He's getting paid a ton, and that's how he showed up in this season opener. And then I think Emmanuel quickly got injured within the first 15 minutes or something, and it was just horrendous. Shout out to the Cavs, I guess, but the Raptors were just awful, absolutely awful. And then Zubac under 9.5 rebounds. This one actually hit, and it was pretty not sweat free. Let's just put it that way, because the game went into overtime, and right when it went into overtime, he had 8 rebounds, and he got his 9th rebound early in the overtime. But then, when there were about 1 or 2 minutes left, he fouled out. He fouled out, and that prevented him from getting the last rebound, and we cashed in. But the one that really hurt was the same game parlay, the Rockets Hornets game. Şengün 18 plus, that was a good read. He got 25. He easily covered that. But the Rockets blew an 18-point lead, and they lost a double-digit lead like that to the Hornets. I think the Hornets went 10-0. I think it was late in the third or something that the Hornets started making that comeback, and it was just embarrassing, man. I mean, this Rocket team, you think that after last year they were playing so well, you think this year they're really going to be one of the main contenders, even who knows, in the West. But this first game against a team like the Hornets was just ugly, man. That was just unlucky. We should have got it, man. Again, they were winning by 18 points, and late in the third quarter they just started being awful and playing awful, and Hornets came right back and won. So 1 and 2, not the worst in the world. The total units are minus 0.23, so less than a quarter, but now we're in the negatives. Let's get right back to the positives and just start, going as deep as possible in the positive side. Let's just get right into the bets after that recap. So my first pick is another parlay here. This is not a same game parlay anymore, but it's featuring 2 of the earlier games, and it's an alternate spread parlay. That's right, I'm doing an alternate spread yet again. If this one doesn't hit, though, I might take a break from giving out these alternate spreads, because it's going to be frustrating if this one doesn't hit, honestly. And it's like I said, it's for the first 2 games. The Wizards, Celtics minus 5.5 to cover a 5.5 spread, and Mavericks to cover a 4.5 spread against the Spurs. Now let's just start with the Celtics. Celtics won all 4 games against the Wizards last season. 2 of them were blowouts. Only one of them was less than a 5-point deficit. The original spread for this game is 13.5. So 5.5 is actually the lowest spread available in a lot of books. Some books don't even have it, but I think DraftKings and Bet365, they have it at minus 5.5. Originally, I wanted at minus 4.5. It was where it started, but then it changed to minus 5, and then it changed to 5.5 as the lowest spread possible for the Celtics. The original spread is way too high. Come on, I know the Wizards suck, but they're an NBA team. It could be a closer game than like 13. Come on, 13 points. And the Wizards have 2 new key players out. They have Malcolm Brogdon and Sadiq Bey out. Those 2 players are injured. And tomorrow, Koulibaly and Alex Sarr, which is a rookie, these 2 might actually be in the starting lineup for the Wizards, which to me is insane, because they're nowhere near to be, ready to be a starter in the NBA. Come on. This team is looking really bad. I looked at the roster of the Wizards, man. This team might be this year's 23-24 Pistons. That's how bad the roster is. I mean, they probably won't be that bad, but it just, like, their best player is Kyle Kuzma. After Kyle Kuzma, you can't really even decide who the second best player is. I mean, is it Valanciunas? Is it Jordan Poole, who was horrendous last year? Is it Malcolm Brogdon? I don't know. That's kind of concerning because these players that I just named in a lot of other NBA teams, if they were part of the rosters, they probably would not be even in the starting lineup. They would be role players. But here they might be the second best player on this team. It's just looking very ugly. This team, I think, will probably have the worst record in the league this year, or at least in the East. They're going to be much worse than the Pistons this year. So that's basically that. Let's go on to the other one, though, the Mavs, the Mavericks versus the Spurs. Mavs also won all 4 games against the Spurs last year, and they won all of them by 6 or more, especially at their home in Dallas. They were really dominant. Spurs don't have Devin Vassell either, which is a key player. They do have Chris Paul, though, and that dynamic between Chris Paul and Wemby might be interesting to see, might be fun, but I don't think that's enough um, to beat the Mavs or make the game be even too close. So the original spread for this game is 8, and I just like this spread at 4.5. So they just have to win by 5. So this is my first pick here. This parlay: Celtics 5.5 spread and Mavericks to cover a 4.5 spread, minus 112 on Bet365. Now, my second pick is a player prop, and you've seen this player in the thumbnail of this video. It's De'Aaron Fox, and it's going to be a strange one because it's juiced, it's weird, but give me De'Aaron Fox under 0.5 blocks, or in other words, 0 blocks, and today's game at minus 210 on DraftKings for a full unit, not a half unit. This is going to be the first full unit play this season for me. Now, this seems weird, I know, but first of all, let me just tell you why I really love this one. De'Aaron Fox is not known for blocks. Last season, he averaged 0.4 blocks. He didn't have a block in 4 of the last 5 games to end the season, and he did not have a block in 7 of the last 10 games of the regular season, and he also did not have any shot blocks in the 2 play-in games. And he played heavy minutes in those, near 40 minutes. He did not have a block. Minnesota, the team that they're going to be facing or hosting here, last season they were in the top 5 teams in terms of the opposing point guards' blocks. Fox played 2 games last season against the Wolves, and he had 0 blocks in both of those games. But here's the crazy stat and by the way, in both of those games that he had 0 last season, he played near 40. He played heavy minutes, could not get a block. But here's why I really like this. Here's this crazy stat. This might be a record here. This season, if we look at the last games the Wolves played last season in the regular season, we have to go back 22. That's right. We have to go back 22 games to find a game where the starting point guard that they were facing on the other team was able to get a shot block against them. I mean, that is crazy. We have to go back all the way to March 12th of this year where James Harden got 2 blocks. So in other words, after that game on March 12th, for the rest of the regular season games, for the rest of the 21 games, the next 21 games, none of the starting point guards facing the Wolves were able to get a block on them. 0. That is insane. This might be a new record for this. I don't know. Now I didn't double check this, so I just went over all these games once because obviously, as you see, like it's 20 plus games, but I'm pretty sure that this is correct. You can check it for yourself. So this team, I don't know what it is, but point guards just can't block these guys. And yeah, De'Aaron Fox is also not he's not a prolific shot blocker by any means. So I really like this a full unit play. It's juiced. I do not want to parlay it with anything because that risks, the added leg of the parlay ruining this, and I just don't want to do that. To me, this is as close as possible to free money because come on, I just told you why. It's just that stat line there is just crazy. It's crazy. It shouldn't be minus 210. On some books like BetMGM, it's minus 250. Honestly, it should be minus 400, 500 if you were to, look at this stat that I just said. And I just minus 210. I got to play a full unit on this, man. I can't just let this one go. the books have to be punished for this one. Um, Also, the first game the Timberwolves played against the Lakers actually had 8 blocks. But the point guards, the Laker point guards, D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent did not have any blocks. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what the logistics is, what the logic is behind all this. But for some reason, the point guards just can't really block the Wolves players. I don't know what it is. Again, the Wolves are pretty much consistent. At least their guards are the same. They haven't really changed. They have DiVincenzo, I guess, but um, again, I've got to go with this one, man. I've got to go a full unit on this. And with that said, these are the two plays for today, October 24th. Hopefully we go 2-0, get the first sweep, although it'll be kind of a mini sweep, but whatever, and get back into positives and just start winning more and more and more and more and more. Thank you if you watched this all the way to the end here. I appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Again, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, all that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.